I'm calling this what I hate about being a martial arts instructor too, because this is sort of a reaction slash response to the video that Freddie Lee made about what he hates about being a martial arts instructor. And there's really nothing on there I can disagree with. I just like to add that these days, as I've said in other videos, being a martial artist or being a martial arts instructor is some sort of value added towards your main business or your main career path. Like, for example, if you want to have daycare and you want to have a twist to your daycare, you should say that your daycare offers martial arts too. Because a lot of times when people are looking for martial arts classes for little kids, if they're not hyper busy people and they got to work though, they just want some place to put their kids in that's going to have before and after care, pick them up in the mornings, take them to school, keep them until they get off work, and they're going to have you helping their kids with homework and basically taking care of them and feeding them until mommy and daddy gets there. That's just how it is. If you're going to run a fitness facility, you can't just teach most adults these days in the United States just straight up martial arts. They don't want that. You start talking about martial arts, they start talking about what kind of workout and how much weight can I lose and how can I get in shape. And if you tell them the truth that after a while your body may adjust to it, so you're going to have something that you do for fitness and do your martial arts for like coordination and mental training, they're not going to want to hear that. They're going to go and they're going to go to some type of like a CrossFit program or maybe something like a Tai Bo or a kickboxing or cardio aerobics that's going to give them the workout that they want. And I remember one time somebody got upset with me because I said that I don't think you can learn how to fight by just doing Tai Bo. Not that there aren't Tai Bo people who can fight, but if you're just doing Tai Bo, you're not linking the activities towards actually sparring with somebody. I said you have to work out with somebody, have some exchanges with someone, or go at it with the intent of doing that in order to be able to fight. And I'm not even saying that Tai Bo is not a good workout, because I tried a little bit of it, and it's a great workout. But it's not a martial art. That's why Billy Blanks isn't handing out black belts in it. Okay? And like for me in IT, it's a value added to my main career, because my main career is as a software tester. There's at least 2 contracts I've been on where they told me, we hired you when we saw martial arts on your resume because, number one, we know you're not going to be scared to show up to work here because this facility's in a bad area. And because you've taught martial arts at a community center for a long time, we know that you can talk to people and you must have some skill at dealing with people. You must have some customer service skills, otherwise they'd have fired you by now. So, there you have it. And really, though, if you want to be technical and true to history, a lot of times people really haven't been able to make a primary living off of just martial arts. Look at Funakoshi's, if you read his Genshin Funakoshi's Karate Do My Way of Life, he had to get other jobs. The guy that created Aikido, he was a lifelong warrior before he started preaching and teaching Aikido. I don't know if a lot of you picked this up from the Yip Man movies, but Yip Man was rich. General Choi was a general in the military. Dr. Kano Jigoro was an educator. He didn't make his primary living off judo all of his adult life. And I can go on and on and on. There's very few people who get to primarily just make a living just off of a martial art. And the only ones I've seen that are able to do it are people that have some type of attachment to either the military and or government. Meaning they get to go around to different governments all over the world, in the United States, all over the United States, all over the world, either teaching troops or teaching, law enforcement or something like that. They've got to be attached to the government in order to be able to make a primary living, and those people are very, very, very rare. They probably are ex-military who the government said, oh, they've got a specialty, oh, we can use them. Or there's some type of civilian that was otherwise attached to that government agency. I had a formal Tai Chi teacher. I went to like 6 of those classes or something. He taught Tai Chi at a government agency, but that wasn't his main job. He was a GS something, but his main job wasn't Tai Chi instructor. I asked him, I was like, wow, the government lets you teach Tai Chi? He looked at me like, and he said, oh, you're crazy. No. They don't let me teach Tai Chi all the time, man. I have to, this is in addition to my other job. I was like, oh, well, sorry I started dreaming, and I'm not the only one. But anyway, that's just how it is. Now, I tend to get a little apprehensive when you want to say that we're as qualified as, doctors or lawyers. But, the deeper you get into it, you do have to start studying anatomy. You want to learn how to be more effective with your technique. As your body is less able, you should study some law. Not that you're going to be a lawyer, but you should have some ideas about, how to legally use your techniques, have some concept of, lethal force, use of force, stand your ground, castle doctrine, things that apply to your state. Concealed carry doesn't necessarily apply to martial artists unless you're, training in a weapon style. A little bit of exposure to psychology if you really want to study how to start and resolve conflicts. And some of the leadership stuff I've read, where you're talking about how to deal with difficult employees if you're a manager, or just how to, have a better leadership skills in the workplace. They like to use, terms like redirect, harmonize with, taking like judo and aikido terminology and applying it to interpersonal communications. So there you have it. The martial arts to most people is like a spice. It's like you could even say a gimmick. A lot of the martial artists we love so much to see on TV, they're not just martial artists, they're either professional fighters or they are, professional actors who happen to act in action movies or happen to act in martial arts movies, like one of my favorites, Michael Jai White. So that's just how it is, You really can take a lot of time into this skill and not get much for it financially. And not only that, you can take a lot of time into this skill, and then people don't really respect you all that much because you're not on television, or because you're not built, like a supermodel or like a professional athlete. They'll look at you and go, what does he know? They'll doubt your ability because you don't look like an action figure. But I figure, hey, that's all power for the course. It seems to me like the martial arts has always had a small but consistent following overall. And despite the things I dislike, I'm still going to keep it going. Because if nothing else, if I may borrow from the Karate Kid, the first one, I'm paraphrasing, you can use the martial arts as a good way to groom children. But you could use anything. It's just another vehicle for transmissions of, values and things like that, and to help build character. So that's a good way for an adult to transmit that to a child, and a good way for an adult to develop that inside of him or herself. And if nothing else, since I'm teaching it and I got to at least be able to do or demonstrate one or two moves, it forces me to keep exercising and look at my health so I can be healthy enough to teach the classes. Peace.